Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm mixing up some Evercoat, but it's so hot and humid out, I'm just mixing. See what I'm doing here, Charlie? Got the camera down here.
Yep.
Now that's a big amount. I'm mixing up very small amounts. Am I right, Charlie?
Yep.
Because I don't want it to dry on me, not used. I'd rather a little bit just dry than a lot. That way it's not wasted. So what I'm doing, I'm taking my Evercoat glaze, my putty glaze, Evercoat brand. And if you go over there and look at that fender, Charlie, where we're working, I'm coming right there. What I found down here, Charlie. Some little surface rust pits. And you know Arthur's gonna be pissed about that. So what we're doing is, if you remember seeing the fender when it was bare metal, when it was in black epoxy, this was completely filled with pits. And what those pits were from is from the battery acid in the battery. Thank God it didn't rot all the way through, you know what I'm saying, Charlie?
Yeah.
So what we're doing, now you can look right here and you can see now there was a bunch of pits in this area right here where the battery, you know, acid leaked. But now if you look at it, it's nice and smooth, it's ready to paint. So that's what we're gonna do here. Now, it brought out the definition of more of them, okay? That's what we're doing. We're going around and we're spot puttying it. And it looks like we might have got them all. We need to put a little bit more up in this corner here and over in here. Look at here, Charlie. But that's more of a sand job. You can sand that out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna let that sit for about 15 minutes and then we're gonna come back. Now I did find some surface rust over here. And you're probably saying to yourself, that's a lot of work on an inner fender well. Well, you know what? You're fucking right. That's a lot of work on an inner fender well. Am I right, Charlie?
Yeah.
But that's the way the guy wants it. He wants it that way. He wants it looking original. He wants it looking better than original. Look inside here how we did this. Look at this. Good job on the back side of this thing. Okay, now this is the side that you actually see in the fender well, okay? I mean, you can see that that's already a satin finish, okay? It's been epoxy primed twice, once with gray. Over here, Charlie. But here's my hand down here, bud. It's been epoxy primed twice, once with gray, once with black. Now we got what? The primer, Charlie, the primer. Do you know what cosine means? What's cosine mean? That means when I talk, you kind of follow my lead here, bud. You say stuff after me, see? So when I go blah, 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 and...
Okay. Blah.
One day you'll learn, bud. So what Charlie's gonna do, he's gonna come back and block sand that. Now the block he's gonna use is our little sanding block. Where the fuck did it go? We lost it. Okay, it's gonna set similar to this. You saw it in the video. He's gonna have to come back with his little handmade sanding block and sand all this down. See? Look at here. Look what I just found right here. See those pits in there?
Yeah.
Gotta get rid of them. So there you go. That's how it's done. Thank you, Charlie. Did it go into a blur action there when he did that? Oh. Okay, there you go, bud. And remind me that I gotta grind this down and weld that. Look where it's cracked.
Okay. Arthur
will have a nightmare, bud, if he sees that. Don't forget to remind me to do that.
Okay.
All right, it's time for a break. Let's go in and take a break. Okay, what you're looking at the inner fender of a 1955 Buick. Now, you already know what the situation is on this. And it's a little ridiculous if you ask me. It really, really is, okay? I mean, you know, going to this extreme to paint inner fender wells, just a little bit ridiculous. Okay, not even the factory would be like this. I mean, this is taking it way to the extreme. I don't agree with it. I don't think it should be done like this. If this was my car, I would have sandblasted them, put some epoxy primer on them, paint them like we were gonna do in the first place. I've been working on these inner fender wells. Now I got the other one in the paint booth that's ready to paint already. I've been working on these inner fender wells for 3.5 weeks. Okay, and if I haven't been working on them, Charlie's been working on them. That means every day for 3.5 weeks, we have been meticulously sanding, meticulously filling it in with Evercoat polyurethane filler, okay, or Bondo or whatever, knocking dents out of it, you know, way down inside where nobody can see it. I mean, it's fucking a joke, man, okay? But that's what the customer wants, you know, and whatever the customer wants, the customer's gonna get. Today, I'm hoping to finish sanding them, and I'll paint them, and they'll be done, okay? So that would be 3.5 weeks of nothing, okay? Of detailing out inner fenders that nobody will ever fucking see, okay? What we got here, we got 80 grit. I mean 180, I'm sorry, if you can see that right there. That's 180. Now this is in a roll, okay? This is Merkin brand, and it's 180 dry. I'm not gonna wet sand these, I'm gonna dry sand them. So what I've done is I went ahead and you saw me put all the filler in the battery section, and it looks good. But what I'm doing now, I am taking my sandpaper, and I'm sanding this by hand. I'm not using a block due to the fact that there's really no way to use a block. And I'm getting every little corner that I could possibly get with my hand. Now, you really gotta be careful with stuff like this, okay? That's actually where there's a clip that goes on that. And I feel there's a burr there, so I need to be careful around that. I think I took that clip out of there, okay? So I gotta be careful. This is something that you really want to take your time on. You do not want to rush it, because you will gouge and scratch your hands tremendously. So be very careful and pay attention when you're sanding a detailed area such as this. And then once I sand the whole thing with 180, I'll come back with 320. Okay, now this is 320 dry. And what that's gonna do, that's gonna give it that fine, silky feeling that we need, okay? And you could wet sand this if you want, but basically you're gonna be wasting your time, okay? It's very detailed, minute sanding going on here. There's areas that are hard to get to. I mean, it would really just be a waste of time. Okay, but what I've done, just to recap to let everybody know that hasn't watched the other videos, what I've done is this is the original battery box that was in the car. Now, this battery box had a lot of pits and just, you know, wear and tear from a 1955 Buick would be. Okay, this is a 60-plus-year-old car, so anyway, what I did is I took my Evercoat polyester filler and I went ahead and filled all this in, and then I smoothed it out, I primed it, I found all the pits that were on the wall of it here. Okay, so now what I gotta do, I gotta come back and I gotta sand all this down and get all the deep scratches out. That's the wrong paper, okay? I gotta get all the deep scratches out with my 180. Now we're not gonna use 80 grit anymore, because what 80 grit will do, it'll eat through the primer down to the filler, and we don't want that. So now what I gotta do is I gotta sand all this down so there's no scratches in any of it. And this is very detailed. Okay, it's just a real pain in the fucking ass is what it is, okay? And, you know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, looky where I'm sanding in here. Okay, I got this here I gotta sand. You know, but then I gotta go around this clip right here, see? So, I'm gonna get all that sanded. I'll probably sand it into probably, see, it's 9:30 now. It's probably gonna take me at least 1 o'clock, 1:30, and that's taking a 30-minute lunch break to get all that sanded and get it proper. And then we're gonna paint it. Now, I'll show you what I'm gonna paint it with after I get done, okay? And I just wanna get this done. It's a filthy job. It's already 9:30 in the morning and it's already 95 degrees out, 100% humidity, and there's not a single air of wind blowing. So I'm sweating like a pig. It's filthy hot, and I want to get this done. Talk to you later. We'll see you later. Goodbye.